In early 2013, I came to the United States seeking a higher education. But even as a freshman, I had bought into this piece of the culture here that centers around work and passion. The notion that marrying these two together could somehow callous the rigor of hard work seemed like the perfect remedy to get through my 8 a.m. math classes. This became so weaved in my fabric that it manifested itself into how I chose my classes, what events I chose to go to. Even now in my professional life, it still haunts me that I never ever considered the opposite of this. Could I just simply start doing something and then learn to love it? My name is Robert Mutagwaba, and today I am from Tanzania, East Africa, and today I'm going to share with you some stories from home that help answer this question. So on my latest trip home, I met a young lady called Bridget. Now, Bridget, not too long ago, was scouring the supermarkets looking for her favorite canola oil. She couldn't find what she was looking for at the price she was looking for. And so she did what any of us would do if we don't find the olive oil we're looking for at Publix. You start your own edible oils manufacturing plant. This is what she did. And one question that helped set her apart from her competition was, why in a country that we have all these raw materials, why do we charge so much for a bottle of edible oils? And so she went out, she talked to these farmers, and then she found out that it's because of middlemen. So middlemen would go into these rural areas, they would talk to these farmers, they would buy all this raw material, but they would put it in storage until there was a scarcity for that raw material, and then they would flood it into the market to command the highest price. Now this brought about two problems. One, the farmers didn't get paid until that happened. And the second was there's post-harvest waste. So as you're storing all these sunflower seeds and the like, they get spoiled in storage. And so what she did is she took all these farmers and put them together in a cooperative because they're so displaced as they are right now. And by putting them in a cooperative, now they're legally recognized, they have access to traditional forms of funding, and they command more respect in the marketplace. But because of this, she was able to get the raw materials she was seeking for at the lowest price. And today, her average product, the price of her average product is about $1.8 per liter, and the next best alternative is about $4 to $5 per liter. And by doing this, she's able to affect about 200 farmers currently. This number is set to grow to about 600 by 2020. These are people now that can go back and take their kids to school and further their individual businesses because of this. She's able to reduce the post-harvest waste by about 80%. And this is just on sunflower seeds alone. Another entity I ran into is MTL. MTL is the leading mining consulting company in Tanzania. And together with the Fair Trade Organization, they work to make small-scale artisanal miners fair trade certified. This does a couple of things for these small-scale miners. One, they're able to make more money because when you're fair trade certified, you command about a 13% price premium for your products. It communicates to the consumer that the products you're buying are coming from a place where the working conditions are safe and sanitary and humane. And most importantly, they're not conflict minerals. And as well, in the sector like mining, where they can use cyanide or mercury in the extraction process of gold, for example, they're taught ways that they can handle this in a way that does not affect them, nor does it the environment. And so while speaking to one of the miners, I asked him, well, take me through one of your days. What do you do on a day-to-day basis? And so she said, okay, there's the mine, and you would go in with dynamites because you need to blast the rock and then get that residue and then try and extract the gold from it. So you place the dynamites, you walk out, you have about 4 to 5 minutes until detonation, and then you have to wait about an hour for the dust to settle. And it's someone's job to go back after the dust is settled and inspect the roof of the mine for any loose rock so that when everyone goes inside, it doesn't collapse on anyone. That's someone's job. It's inconceivable to even ask them if this is what they were passionate about, getting into it. Lastly, I went to the northern part of Tanzania in a place called Bukoba, which is where I'm originally from. And here we have a staple food. It's a protein. It's more delicious than chicken, than beef, than any source of meat that you could think of. I'll let you guys try to think of what that might be. I have about 10 to 15 minutes. I can wait. Grasshoppers. Exactly. Yum. Now, before it looks so appetizing, let's see what happens before this. This is how they would look like before they were fried or cooked in any form. And this is it's not only a seasonal thing, it's also a regional thing. So it's only found in that northern part of Tanzania. And this is what the setup looks like to actually catch the live grasshoppers. So after we get over the fact that it resembles something like a medieval torture device, there's actually a lot of brilliance in this setup. Let's look at it. So first, there's the light. That light attracts the grasshoppers because they're seeking warmth. And then next, there's all this smoke, and they're stoking fire for the smoke to go up, and it disorients the grasshoppers, and so they hit into these iron sheets that you see here. That's where the fire is stoking, and then the smoke is going up. And then after they're disoriented and hit these iron sheets, they slide all the way down into these buckets that you see here. And then from this is what you get, these scrumptious grasshoppers. Now, the people that do this face a lot of challenges. One of them is they cannot control what bugs they do get. They'll get the edible kind, they'll get the beetles that have the corrosive material in them, and a plethora of others. So they actually have to go in and sift through to make sure what they have is what they're looking to get. Now, through this process, when you come into the insects that are actually that have that corrosive material, it can lead to dermatitis of the skin and so forth. The lights that they use are really, really bright. That's staring in them while you're making this thing go on all night can be very, very taxing for your eyes. And not to mention the smoke as well. And so again, why is this person telling me all this information in such a passionate manner and they're not even complaining? Through all these 3 different stories, some of them were from necessity, some of them bore out of circumstance. But the one thing that was for sure is they both learned to love what they do. One is because they found a positive relationship between effort and reward. And so the more they did, the more they got rewarded. The second thing was every single one had an altruistic twist to it. With the edible oils, the success of Aubrey, her company, is directly correlated to the success of the farmers she's in business with. With the mining people, all these small-scale miners that would otherwise have no say in the marketplace, all of a sudden are able to contribute more than they would have been before. Even if this project is not a revenue generator for the company, but it's a way to give back to these small-scale miners. And lastly, with these grasshoppers, apart from providing my dinner every single day when I go to Bukoba, this is the identity of this place. When they travel anywhere else in the country, or the continent for that matter, they're able to say, this is home. Everyone in that region partakes in this in one way or another. Maybe they capture the grasshoppers, or they cook them, they sell them, they consume them. But because this is so regional, they're able to identify themselves with this. It's a matter of pride. And so, looking for what you're passionate about and then diving into work to work on it is not the only way. You can learn to love and be passionate about what you do if you find that in whatever you do, you get that relationship between hard work and reward. You just have to like something just enough to start doing it. And after that, have an altruistic motive to it. Who did you impact? What other stakeholders are you able to make their professional or personal lives better because of you doing what you do? And I hope that we take this into consideration next time we think about passion. Thank you.